I'm glad that you made it for Good Morning Kenya just in time for comprehensive news coverage of stories that have been making headlines in the last 12 hours or so. And we'll start off on a high, so to speak, where you will be paying less for fuel next month. That is a period between 14th, that was yesterday, to 14th of next month, following a decision by the Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority to lower the pump prices. Now, as from midnight yesterday, super petrol reduced by 1 shilling and 95 cents per litre, while diesel went down by 2 shillings and 20 cents, while kerosene reduced by 2 shillings and 40 cents per litre. Here's Caroline Njenga with the details.
You will pay less for fuel as from Tuesday, thanks to reduced landed cost of petroleum products and a decision by the Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority to tap the Fuel Stabilization Fund to cushion consumers from higher pump prices. A statement by the Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority indicates that the landed cost of super petrol decreased by 4.89%, diesel by 6.45%, while kerosene was lower by 6.53%. In addition, the Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority tapped the Fuel Stabilization Kitty to reduce the pump price of super petrol by 4 shillings and 66 cents per litre, diesel by 6 shillings and 9 cents, while kerosene was lowered by 6 shillings and 18 cents per litre. The overall effect is a pump price reduction effective from midnight. Fuel is cheapest in Mombasa, where a litre of super petrol will retail at 171 shillings and 39 cents, diesel at 161 shillings and 62 cents, and kerosene 145 shillings and 75 cents. Fuel is most expensive in Mandera, where a litre of super petrol is priced at 188 shillings and 64 cents, diesel at 178 shillings and 87 cents, while kerosene will cost 162 shillings and 99 cents.
Well, that is good news for motorists, and I'm sure it's going to impact on how much you get to spend in your household. There's been a lot of questions, like if government had not tapped into the price stabilization fund, how much would it have cost, at the pump? Secondly, the OMs are getting a cool 15 shillings per litre. If you look at that particular report that has already been made public, you might want to do the math and also compare with the regional cost of fuel across the region, and also just look at the global oil prices. Just recently, we also had government extend its G2G deal in as far as matters of fuel or other petroleum products are concerned. We will be unpacking that as we focus on matters business as we go forward. Now, to other stories that have been making headlines. We are focused on, let's have a look at county governments now are set to conduct a head count of all universal health care coverage workers to enhance accountability as the national government moves to settle a long-time push for the absorption of UHC staff. Now, this one is one of the resolutions that was reached in a consultative meeting between the county bosses and the Ministry of Health. The national government is expected to transfer to the devolved units funds according to the salary scale approved by the Salaries and Remuneration Commission.
Efforts to cure the emerging issues bedeviling the new health scheme, the Social Health Authority, intensify in a move to ensure the national government delivers affordable health care to all. A consultative meeting between the Ministry of Health and the Council of Governors resolved on a number of measures to address the gaps.
The Digital Health Agency shall expedite the distribution of all devices to the remaining public health facilities in counties in support of digitization.
I want to confirm to the nation we have paid all facilities who posted their claim regularly and legally. We will weed out corruption.
Absorption of universal health coverage staff and payment of community health promoters was part of the way forward.
That the counties undertake a head count of the universal health coverage workers, UHC workers, to enhance accountability.
What we need is for the ministry to release this staff to the counties, but not only release the staff, they also need to ensure that they provide the requisite funds or resources to make sure that these staff can be paid or remunerated at the rate that their colleagues are being remunerated at.
Also in the resolutions was fixing electricity and internet connectivity challenges and boosting funds for emergency and chronic care.
Our challenge with the Ministry of Health has not been agreeing with them or reaching agreements. Our challenge has been honoring those agreements, implementing them, following them through. And now we have assurance.
The Taifa Care rollout is in progress. We have done 6 counties so far. Beginning 20th of this month, we are going to do another 13 counties where we will distribute gadgets.
Currently, over 21 million Kenyans have registered in the new scheme.
Those 21,000 can access free any of our primary health centers or facilities, be they public, be they private, and be they faith-based facilities.
The issue of prescription drugs that have been abused, but we said we will have a technical team at the ministry working together with our COG to come up with policies to protect our kids from the misuse of prescription drugs, the codeine and the like.
As reforms take shape, Kenyans are hopeful that these efforts will translate into reliable, quality and accessible healthcare for all.
Universal health coverage has been one of the pillars and better there, and it has been going through headwinds, especially with the transition from NHIF to now SHIF, that is under Taifa Care, with the SHA providing oversight. Now, the government has expressed regret over an incident where Butere Girls High School failed to showcase their play at the National Drama Festivals in Nakuru. The government spokesperson, Dr. Isaac Mauro, while addressing the media, however, cautioned politicians against using school children in advancing their political agenda.
Controversies surrounding echoes of war have drawn both public and government concerns after it made headlines at the National Drama and Film Festivals in Nakuru. The government says it regrets the incident and investigations are underway.
It is regrettable, of course, that our police used tear gas against the journalists and also the children. That is regrettable. And as a government, we go to say that is not acceptable and action shall be taken accordingly. However, it is important to set the record straight that matter has been highly politicized, and of course every other Tom, Dick and Harry, they have jumped in to mince political mileage out of it. It's unfortunate, and we will not tolerate as a government going forward such behavior. The rules must be followed. Teachers must ensure that they have the right people who train their children.
Meanwhile, the government has cautioned Kenyans against misinformation about amendments to the Finance Act.
The government unequivocally states that there is no Finance Bill 2025 tabled anywhere yet, and such outrageous claims should be shunned. And we are calling upon the members of the press to help us so that we do not spread propaganda. Accordingly, Kenyans will have the opportunity to interrogate any revenue-raising measure through a thorough public participation only after the draft budget and finance bill have been released by the National Treasury.
Mwaura highlighted what he termed as the successful registration of over 19 million Kenyans under the new healthcare system. The government has also deployed 3 mobile laboratories to the northeastern region to combat the spread of Kala-Azar, a vector-borne disease affecting the area.
A satellite blood bank equipped with a new blood analysis machine has been established to support critical care, significantly improving patient outcomes. And because of these efforts, therefore, recoveries now surpass new infections.
The government has also cautioned high school principals against withholding academic certificates of students with fee arrears.
Now, that particular brief by the government spokesperson amid claims that Principal Butere Girls has since been transferred to Wajir. We are still trying to confirm those particular claims that are very rife, especially on social media there. We're also going to be keeping tabs on government's conversations. So tonight on The Shift, we're going to be hosting none other than Deputy Government Spokesperson Gabriel Muthuma, who is just going to unpack the government communication strategy. Is it information or propaganda? So let's keep it right here for that particular. Definitely going to be a heated debate there, but yes, we'll be there and we'll be listening as well as watching for your feedback on our various social media platforms. Now, President William Ruto has lauded the vital role that religious leaders are playing in shaping society, underscoring their significant contribution to maintaining moral integrity. He stressed that the country's progress relies on the combined efforts of all leadership sectors, including political and religious figures. The president also recognized the religious community's active participation in education and healthcare, highlighting their unwavering commitment to the national well-being and advancement. He made the remarks during a meeting with religious leaders from Kiambaa, Kabete and Thika in Kiambu County, which took place at State House, Nairobi, yesterday.
We have a great nation. Let us not bring it down with rumors, negative energy, vitu ambayo haisaidii. Our intentions are good and we want to do what is right for our nation.
Scholars in Kiswahili are challenging the African leaders to market the language, which they tout as the only avenue that can unite the continent to safeguard its identity. Speakers at the ongoing Kiswahili International Conference taking place in Kampala, Uganda, opine that the efforts of neo-colonialism can be broken if the continent adopts a single language for its daily transactions. Well, our reporter Nancy Okware and Kaschana Masha are down there in Kampala and filed the following report.
Kololo Independent Grounds in Kampala, Uganda, brought together the finest in Kiswahili as scholars try to rally the continent to adopt the language whose roots can be traced to Zanzibar a century ago.
Sisi wa Afrika lazima tujinasue kutoka kwa minyororo ya ukoloni mamboleo ya kudhani ya kwamba ukijieleza kwa ufasaha kwa lugha ya Kiingereza, Kireno au Kifaransa basi wewe si bwege tena. La hash.
Lugha ya Kiswahili iweze kutambuliwa kama lingua franca ya kusini mwa jangwa la Sahara.
Those who addressed the congregation terming as illusion attempts by the East African community to enter into an integration without a single unified language.
Tukishirikiana na kujifunza lugha ya Kiswahili, tukapatana na tamaduni zetu zote, tutakuza Kiswahili hiki kwa sababu tutaheshimu tamaduni za labda wa Kenya, wa Tanzania na Waganda.
Their fingers pointing at tribal chiefs who hold on their native languages for survival, warning such moves are futile in the current globalized world.
Wanaozungumza Lugwere, wanaozungumza Luluya, tafuteni wazungumzaji wa Luya wazuri, andikeni vitabu vya Kiswahili kwa kutumia Kiluya. Wakifanya hivyo, mnainua lugha ya Kiluya na mnajenga lugha ya Kiswahili kama lugha moja. Let it be a language of African Union. I hear that people say when we have duplication of languages, there will be confusion, there will be linguistic confusion. No, it will enhance the efflorescence of African culture and language.
The Kiswahili scholars calling for collaborations of mainly Swahili writers from across the continent to team up and help enrich the language they termed progressive and whose future is shining bright. To help grow the language, scholars too have been challenged to put in place succession plans and build a generation of young writers who will turn ambassadors of the language.
The International Kiswahili Conference has set the pace for actions that countries need to undertake in order to ensure proper use of the language, especially as a unifying factor. Nancy Okware, reporting from Kololo grounds in Kampala, Uganda.
To agriculture, now the government has dismissed claims that Russia donated fertilizer, highlighting that Kenya received components and not ready to use fertilizer. Agriculture Principal Secretary Dr. Paul Rono says despite the donation of the fertilizer component, Kenya had to incur additional costs of blending and purchasing additional fertilizer components whose cost was passed on to farmers.
The government says the 34,000 tons of chemical donations from Russia was not finished fertilizer, but fertilizer-making components.
We got the components of manufacturing of fertilizers from Russia, close to 34 metric tons in 2023. When we got those border from Russia, they were in border form for manufacturing of fertilizers, because fertilizers have got different components, so this one came in border form.
Agriculture Principal Secretary Dr. Paul Rono says farmers were billed for the subsidy fertilizer despite the donation to offset cost on blending and purchase of additional fertilizer components.
For anybody to say we got free fertilizers donated and we sold, as a Ministry of Agriculture, we want to say that is the fact. We didn't get fertilizer first of all. It was a component for making fertilizer. That is a fact. And if we are again to be given the same border or substances for making fertilizer, we will still repeat the same.
Dr. Rono says fertilizer blending farms were sourced competitively.
We look for a farm through competitive bidding to do granulation and manufacture fertilizers for our farmers.
He made the remarks during a briefing on Kenya's National Food System Stock-Taking Moment 2-day summit that kicks off in Nairobi on Tuesday.
Financial service players should step up the use of technology to empower customers in order to build cybersecurity resilience. Speaking at the tech exhibition GTEx Africa in Marrakech, Morocco, M-Pesa head of cybersecurity Tim Theurim said many firms focus and invest in securing core technology, yet most of the cyber threats are at the point of customer interaction with the tech systems. Here's Betty Kiptum, who is in Marrakech, Morocco.
The National Kenya Computer Incident Response Team Coordination Center detected over 840 million cyber threat events between October to December last year, marking a 27.82% increase from the previous quarter. Kenya's financial services space largely operates on mobile money, with a majority of customers relying on mobile banking. Players in this space say to stay ahead of cyber criminals, companies ought to step up awareness and empower customers to protect their data as they interact with their systems.
It's actually more lucrative for the hacker to actually target that customer and steal $1, $2, $3 from the customer, then target the core system, which is heavily defended. Because of that, what we realized is that the only way to be able to protect our customers is to empower them.
Theory says the trick is to view cybersecurity as a business enabler, incorporating it in operations right from the innovation stage.
Cybersecurity was always viewed as a stopper, but I think now, as a cybersecurity industry, we pivoted so that we can now partner with business, so that whenever there are new innovative technologies, cybersecurity comes in at that initial concept stage, just to ensure that from a design perspective to an implementation, wherever product we are implementing, it is 100% secure without any vulnerabilities. Then after that, continuing to monitor just to ensure that security still remains a topmost priority and is maintained fully.
As technology continues to evolve, more humans are interacting with it, and systems are only as strong as the people that are using them. Companies have been urged to invest more in ensuring that consumers are aware of their cybersecurity needs and protecting their data as well as their money at point of use. Reporting from Marrakesh in Morocco, my name is Betty Kiptum.
The government has begun a one-week sensitization campaign for potential homeowners through the Affordable Housing Program. The exercise starts today and will see members of the public taken through a tour of upcoming projects with staff from the Affordable Housing Project boarding fielding questions from the public. The exercise kicks off in central Kenya, targeting the counties of Kirinyaga, Embu, Laikipia, Nyandarua and Murang'a. Most of the affordable housing projects in the area are at 70% completion, with the allocation of units expected to be finalized within coming weeks. Workers who have benefited from the program dubbed it as an economic empowerment initiative, calling on the government to launch phase 2 to ensure sustainability of their livelihoods.
Currently, we have 2 projects which are complete. We have the Geshogo HP and we have the Kerugoya NHC. I request the general public, this week we are having a activation mobilization week for the general public to come, see what we've done, and for them to be taken through the registration and to understand what about the Boma Yangu. The general public to turn up in large numbers, come as many as you are. We have houses that would like you people to purchase and for you to have a better housing program.
Sasa ujenzi ikisha hapa, najua hata Mwenyezi Mungu atatuonyesha mahali, unless serikali sasa ifungue phase 2, tutanufaika sana na tutafurahia sana. Lakini kama phase 2 bado itadelay, kutakuwa na delay, si hatuna otherwise tutaenda tu kutafuta makazi zingine huko.
We expect the local people to come to view the houses, because most of the people maybe have been asking how the project has been going, to be sure that affordable houses is real.
We'll be keeping tabs on that tour that begins today. We have our reporter on ground, that is John Jacob Curia, on that particular bit. Now to sports, where the Kasarani Stadium will host test matches in the month of June, 2 months prior to the commencement of the postponed Africa Nations Championship, that is CHAN. The stadium is expected to host 2 to 3 test matches before being used as one of the venues for CHAN in August, alongside Nyayo National Stadium, both of which were inspected yesterday by Cabinet Secretaries Salim Vuria and Soipan Tuya.
With the kick-off of the postponed African Nation Championship less than 4 months away, the Kasarani Stadium is almost complete and will host a few test matches before the continental tournament for home-based players gets underway in August.
From June, we should be seeing more of test matches in this ground, just to make sure that everything is in place. So if we have another match in between, we will not do it in Nyayo, we will do it here, because I think what we have seen in the 2 matches, football is back in our country.
The stadium, together with the Nyayo National Stadium, both of which were inspected today by Cabinet Secretaries Salim Vuri and Soipan Tuya, will be the venues for CHAN 2024 and the Africa Cup of Nations 2027, events to be co-hosted by Kenya, Uganda and Tanzania.
We are ready for CHAN, we are ready for AFCON, and we've made a financial commitment to that effect, and therefore we are moving in that direction. I think right now we also need to be moving in to prepare the teams. You know, we now embark on preparing Harambee Stars because we are in a very good group in CHAN, which we need to take extra measures.
The completion of the venues in Kenya will end a period of uncertainty for Kenyan national teams, which have been playing their international matches in neighboring countries.
Our role as the Ministry of Defense is to offer a supervisory role to ensure timeliness in the completion of the projects, to ensure that the projects are up to standard, and of course to ensure that there is value for money that we get out of the projects.
The sports grounds are being built and renovated not only to host the 2 continental football tournaments, but also as a foundation for talent development.
We are investing, we are making sure that we give a facelift to our sports facilities, and for our enthusiasts, the sports enthusiasts, I think we need to be responsible, take part in ensuring that we also take care of these facilities once they are complete.
The tour of Kasarani and Nyayo follows many other tours of other venues across the country this year, including Talanta Stadium on Ngong Road, Bukungu Stadium in Kakamega, Wote Stadium in Makueni, and Raila Odinga Stadium in Homa Bay.
That effectively puts a cap on matters in the headlines this morning. Remember, you're watching Good Morning Kenya. A candid conversation is about to commence with Victor as he looks at the state of the nation with a keen focus on what is happening in as far as the economy and matters of politics are concerned. So do keep it right here. Later in the evening, we're going to be interrogating the government communication strategy with none other than Deputy Government Spokesperson Gabriel Mutuma. The question is it information or propaganda? See you at 9. Have a great day ahead.